Good morning, everyone. This is Aaron with Crypto Trends. Today is October 25th, 2018. Today we are talking about all the Vechain FUD out there. And yeah, I think it's a bunch of BS, but you know, let's get into it, shall we? First, let me make sure that I'm streaming, and it looks like, yay, I'm live here. So great. Please go ahead and like, get notified, subscribe to these videos to get inside looks from a remote viewing perspective, and also from someone who has basically programming experience in logistics and supply chain management and stuff. I've been a programmer doing this stuff, system architect stuff along those lines for about 15 years. So anyway, if that gives you a clue of who I am, great. Anyway, let's get to it. So there's been a lot of FUD about Vechain, and here's Vechain on CoinMarketCap. Just a ton of FUD, and let's see where Vechain is right now. You know, it's sucking wind. It's sucking wind. It's moving fairly flat. It's not going down. It's within this trading range here, so you know, I'm cool with it. And this is on the 4-hour excuse me. Let me get some coffee here. Did I say good morning, everyone? So yeah, good morning. Dobre utro. Ohayou gozaimasu. Dobre den. All that good stuff, right? Okay, so this is VET to USDT pairing on the 4-hour logarithmic chart on Binance. And yeah, we can see that it's going in, it's trading in between these two lines here. So to me, this is an accumulation phase. If we look at this from a Wackovian perspective, I'm looking at this as actually being a spring. So yeah, this is a spring, and then we're going to have a, you know, there's going to be something over in here, and then we're going to see like a jump across the creek. So that's what I'm kind of thinking here, that this is accumulation right here. This whole area is accumulation, and accumulation is painful, okay? And we see that in a lot of coins right now, going on right now. But what's coming up with Vechain is that end of the month, end of this month, we should have Ocean X. Yes, the exchange where there's going to be VET pairings for the coins, like how you can buy VET with BTC. Well, you can buy VTC with VET. So yeah, that's going to be awesome and cool. So that is coming up. Lots of good things that are happening for Vechain. Yeah, to me, Vechain is a solid project. And if you look at my little video here, my little picture, yeah, we have DNVGL. Who are those guys? A bunch of losers, right? DNVGL. Huge company. Same as PwC, Pricewaterhouse. Huge company. We have BYD, small car manufacturer. Yeah, they make small cars, but they're the largest electric vehicle manufacturer in the world. They also make electric buses, which cities are starting, you know, are purchasing. So you don't have that terrible exhaust smoke come out of the bus. It's electric, you know, way cool. They also make a whole bunch of other things. Check out their site, BYD. Here's Ocean X. Ocean X is going to be a big deal for the Vechain ecosystem, and when that goes live is when I think that we're going to start seeing things move, as well as the whole China connection. We have the China connection. We have the, you know, the tobacco, right? Just the tobacco for the Chinese tobacco. That's a huge thing with that. Also with the recent sad event for the vaccines. So China is looking at really trying to help their society with ways to prevent the fraud, the counterfeit items and stuff like that. That is just it just permeates their society, and that's quite unfortunate. But China is pretty much putting their foot down, and they're saying, hey, you know, we're having kids die, and people are afraid to actually eat the food there, to go out and get a drink at a bar or something like that. And it's just, let's put it this way. China doesn't want Vechain or other coins like it. They need it, okay? They actually need it, because you can go and you can get let's say you order some, let's see, what should we order at a bar? We should order Remy Martin. Yeah, whoops. Please put in your date of birth. I'm not putting in my date of birth. Anyway, check out Remy Martin. If you've done any research on Vechain, this is the drink of choice. But let's say you go to a bar in China. Let's say you're at a bar in China, and perhaps you're sitting at the Marriott or whatever, and you order, you know, you get some Remy. And a few hours later, you are just puking your guts out. You are throwing up all this stuff. You're getting really, really ill. And that's because somebody put in, I don't know, diesel fuel into the bottle, and they made a fake bottle, and they copied the label, and it looks like Remy, and it kind of smells like Remy, but man, it is not. And I'm not picking on Remy, okay, or that I'm giving it that this actually happened. This is just a made-up scenario, okay? But people have gotten ill on liquor. It's because they're getting fake product. They're getting counterfeit stuff. And this is like, you can even look up videos of like tourists that have gone there, people that have lived there, and this is on YouTube, where they got something to drink and they became ill because who knows what was in the bottle, right? Anyway, Vechain is helping to avert those types of situations in the food safety, the vaccine stuff. So that's just part of what they do, and this goes into supply chain management. And what does supply chain management? Well, let's go over here. Let's go to Paint, Microsoft Paint. Okay, and we'll do a little diagram of supply chain. So what you have, let me make my brush size a little small. See if that's good enough. Okay, that's cool. Let's say you have your manufacturer, okay? This is your manufacturer, and they're making some product. And then from there, it gets shipped with a little truck or however they ship it to the end user, right? And that's you. That's you, okay? There is a ton of stuff that happens between the manufacturer of the product until it arrives to you. And within this stuff, let's take a milk factory, okay? Let's say this is a factory. So this is coming from the cows, and it goes from the cows, and it goes onto a little truck, okay? Or actually, it goes from the cows and it goes into the creamery, where the creamery separates out the cream and the butter and the milk, you know, where they grate it and so on, and then they put it on these container trucks or whatever to go to the bottling factory to get bottled, or to get to be put in a container to be put on the shelf at the supermarket. So what we have here is that we have a point right here where the cows actually can be chipped. Okay, the little tag in the ear chip. Okay, so we know this cow is cool. And what kind of things have been administered to the cow, if there's like any vaccines, or is it like 100% grass-fed or whatever. So that's an entry point to where something, where a cow itself could be chipped. And this is where actually Vechain can come into play, and also one of Vechain's ICOs can have a pretty good effect too, as far as tracking the animals and stuff at this point. Okay, you can track cows, you can track horses, etc. And that is Mustang chain, right? Please forgive my drawing. I promise I won't do this type of drawing anymore. But anyway, this is an entry point. Let's make it red, okay? So right here, this is an entry point, and there's a whole bunch of things that happen during the lifespan of the cow and stuff like that, where there could be things entered onto the blockchain, like when you know, a veterinarian came and looked at a cow or whatever, okay? All right, so that's part of it. So the cow goes and it gets milked, okay? It gets milked. Let me change it back to black. So it gets milked, and the cream comes out, and the milk comes out, and it gets separated and stuff, and what happens is to say, okay, well, this whole batch of milk came from cow 1, cow 2, cow 3, and all these cows, and it came from this farm, okay, or this dairy. Let's just call it farm 1, etc. And you can have different farms, and then these all feed into a big bottling plant, let's call it, okay? And so we have tracking on what cow went into this batch, okay? And so we'll know. And then we have farm 2. You guys get the idea. You're not stupid. Please keep in mind that none of my viewers are stupid. I have the best and smartest viewers in, I think, the entire YouTube world, and thank you guys for watching. And no, I am not being kissing your ass or anything like that. I truly mean it. You guys are on the ball. Okay, so we have our cows here, and you might say, oh, how do I know this? Well, I have a cousin that actually has a creamery and raises a dairy. Okay. They've had a dairy for years and years and years back in the Midwest. Anyway, so we have our farms, and so they all feed into this plant, and the plant will do a batch. Okay, it gets this, bottles them up. Okay, it does a bottle, and then it goes on to another shipping point, and then it eventually, you know, gets to you. The thing is that with blockchain is that we know down to the cow. Well, let's go back here. This thing is, it gets a tag, a little Vechain tag, okay? So we know that it's traced, so we can know from what farm did this bottle of milk come from, okay? And that's because along the route, it got tagged, okay? It got written to the blockchain. Boom. Boom. Same thing down here. Good old Vechain. Boom. Written to the blockchain. And this is like really cool. This is part of food safety traceability, which is a difficult thing to achieve, all right? This is a difficult thing to achieve. So we have food traceability. We know usually when they bottle it, they won't batch the different farms. So you have farm 1 and farm 2 going to here. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. But even if they did, they'll know that, okay, well, farm 1 and farm 2 went into this batch, and then you can have farm 3 down here, which went into a different batch, okay? So let's say this milk was contaminated, got sick, called the authorities, they look up on Vechain, oh, it came from these farms. And from these farms, it says, oh, this batch, what batch it was, because it got written to the blockchain, came from these cows. So they could go and instead of destroying the entire herd, they could just go out and look at these cows that made up this batch on that particular day or whatever. And this is really important because one, the supplier, the bottling factory won't have to dump its entire supply of good product. Okay, so it has these other batches, and that is huge. Right now, without traceability, the supplier would have to like pull everything it has off the shelf, which is expensive, and they'll have to dump all of this, and they have to like basically clean all their equipment and start over. It is extremely expensive to have a product recall if you do not have this traceability, because you basically have to destroy your entire product and start fresh and start moving out again. Very expensive. So the blockchain, by writing stuff on how to actually trace it back to the level of the cow sitting on the pasture, is a tremendous cost savings. And so that is a huge use case on why people will want to use this stuff. Okay, so along these points, we have stuff written to the blockchain, and it also we have the temperature. And so let's say the truck. Here's the truck. Okay, yeah, I know my drawing sucks. Here's its smokestack, okay? So, yeah, don't give me shit about my drawing. Anyway, so let's say that on this truck, you have the temperature sensors, and that's going to be written to the blockchain as well. So, boom, another Vechain write to the blockchain, okay? And these writes to the blockchain, that's when they actually using the Thor. Okay, they're using the Thor. They're making the they're creating the transactions and stuff. And you can see in just this one little diagram, we could have a whole bunch here, maybe from Mustang chain or whatever, and that ties into Vechain. We'll see in the future. Perhaps this could all be handled by Vechain. Okay. But nevertheless, you can just see from this real simple example how many writes there are to the blockchain, okay? So getting back to this terrible truck, okay, the worst truck drawing in the world. I'll put little wheels on it. So let's say that its temperature went up, was greater than the allowed amount. And that could cause spoilage along the truck. Same result here. You drank the milk and you got sick. Well, they trace it back. Boom, they can stop here. Oh, the truck's temperature was out of spec. For some reason or whatever, you know, the milk got heated up, and so that could cause a problem. So they'll check the truck, and then they'll check here. From the bottling plant, it was cool because they can pull, they can test the milk, so they can say, oh no, it was the truck that was at fault. So boom, all these other lines that were delivered by other trucks were cool, they were fine, and so the grocer does not have to pull its entire product. Okay, you guys get that? Maybe you didn't know this is how things work in the background, but this is like how things get delivered from the farm to you. So if you can go back and only stop here, that's a huge benefit, huge cost savings to these manufacturers. Bright Foods, okay? Bright Foods, check them out. Believe they are a partner with Vechain. Yes? No? You tell me. Do your research. That's what I'm saying. Do your research. Bright Foods. Okay, so this is this. This is basically how product gets to you. And you can see along the line how things happen. How things get written to the blockchain and how it can be traced. So I was watching a video this morning, and I'm not going to mention the guy's name, but the dude was saying, "Oh yeah, you can have issues along this where, let's say someone along this line falsified the information, okay? Falsified the information, or somehow or whatever, they took their product and injected it directly on the truck, and they did like some type of crap, I don't know, false Vechain write, or they tried to, or they messed with the sticker or something like that. That's getting into this chain is going to be pretty difficult to get to you. Okay, it would have to be up in this area here, on the truck to here. That's where the problem is going to be, and then the authorities could go back and trace it and find the people. So what happens is that, can somebody indeed put in false information? Yeah. But what prevents that? What prevents that? See these guys right here, DNVGL? That's what prevents it. PwC prevents it. You're saying how? How? DNVGL does quality assurance, and by that, it goes really deep. If you haven't ever heard of ISO certification or getting any type of certification at all, it is a big deal. Because what happens, let's say, let me pick a different color here, blue. Yeah, blue looks cool. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Let's say Farm 1 is certified, so it gets a star. Okay, let's put a big old D there for DNVGL. So it is certified by DNVGL that, hey, they have all their internal processes follow a certain laid out specified standard, which would be I don't know, paperwork wise, let's say your forms all have to have a certain identification number that's unique, okay, to a certain form that gets filled out. Okay, so they all have this type of form to fill out that can be traced, that's standardized, and it's handled in a specific way, and there has to be specific tracking. It's the management stuff that goes into it that makes this company say, okay, I follow a certain set of standards that is recommended and good and works and helps assure that everything that I'm doing is cool as far as a farm goes. And so DNVGL says, okay, you have our stamp of approval, you are certified. Boom. The thing that happens is that these guys here, the bottling company, says, oh, we're certified too. We only want to deal with other companies that are certified because we can trust them. We know that their systems are in place, that they do routine checks on the health of their cows, that they have processes in place to where they know that their equipment gets cleaned after every milking. Okay, and they know this because of the processes in place, which is huge, and it goes so far in depth. It's literally, there are degrees for this stuff. Okay, POM, production operation management, is just one. Some of the degrees. Okay, huge. Anyway, so this company, this bottler here, let's call it Bright Foods. Okay, Bright Food says, hey, I only want to get supply from these farms that have gone through and got the DNVGL cert. Okay, because it knows, like I said, it knows everything is cool, everything is legit. This greatly reduces the opportunity for counterfeits being injected into the chain. All right? And so this guy down here, he might not have a certification, so he doesn't get to be a vendor or a supplier for Bright Foods. So much for him. He's out of the chain. He's out of the loop. Now, moving on. So this is like the processes and standards and stuff like that. And then we have somebody else that does something kind of along the same line, PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. What they do is that they make sure that, yeah, this company actually bought this cow. It has this many cows, that they're reporting the sales from this point to this point correctly, and they make sure everything adds up. It's called an audit, okay? They audit. And so on the business side of things, on the financial side, you have PwC doing the quality assurance. You have DNVGL doing stuff on the physical supply side of things, as well as the structure of how the business is actually formed and how they do their processes. And that's all to ensure quality assurance. So you have a giant DNVGL and you have PwC that are involved with Vechain, and they are not partners. PwC and DNVGL are not partners. They are owners. There is a huge difference. Closest thing you can think of that, it would be like a law firm where you have like 3 lawyers, right? And their names are on the front of the building. You have 3 owners in the company, right? And they call them partners, okay? That would be like the closest thing. But DNVGL and PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers, are equity owners in Vechain. And so they are putting their name on, they are vouching for Vechain. It's not even that. It's like DNVGL and PwC have customers who want to get the system in place. So DNVGL, what happens is that this little Vechain right to the database is important because DNVGL can modify and promote different systems for their clients on how to become more efficient to get stuff that's certified. Because the thing is, you could have other DNVGL companies that aren't in the milk thing, but maybe they do something else that's somewhat related, to where they want to do business with these guys here, okay? And so DNVGL can say, oh yeah, they're one of our customers, you know, they're cool, go ahead and, you know, everything's cool and everybody's happy. But the thing is with DNVGL is that this is integrated or can and will be integrated into the way that they recommend doing businesses as a process, okay? And check out the My Story if you haven't on DNVGL. So that's something else to do your research on. My Story. Okay, so even though this green counterfeit guy can exist, and they do exist, we have DNVGL and the blockchain to help drastically prevent and reduce it, okay? This is not FUD. This garbage here, that happens. But with DNVGL and PwC and Vechain, phew, this is like obliterated, okay? So the FUD that goes around Vechain for this crap is nonsense. It is exactly what they are working at reducing. So and that is it. So that is Vechain, and that is just the supply side logistics part of it, okay? Now let me clear this. How do I clear this? Erase. Where is eraser? There's my big eraser. Let's make a big size. That's not a very big size, is it? Let's just do file new. Don't save. Wow, that was a lot quicker. It's sad. Computer programmer guy can't use stupid paint. All right, so moving on to Vechain. Just if you take a lot of the coins out there, they have this idea, and they say, "Oh, well, my coin can do this, and it can do that, and you know, it can make the sky blue and all this stuff." Okay, great, wonderful white paper. And then let's say they actually build it and they get their mainnet going, and then they go out and they try to look for customers to actually use it, for clients. Okay, so this would be like a Bright Foods. Then they go out and look for Bright Foods. Picking on Bright today. So they build it and they look for the clients. With Vechain, it's more like, hey, can we have this? Bright Food says, hey, we have this idea. DNVGL would say, hey, we have a solution. We have a solution for that can solve or fit your idea to make it come true. And that can be provided by Vechain. Wham, there you go. Vechain goes and builds the dApp. Okay? And then what they can do is now DNVGL has this dApp that's built that they can let their other clients know about, as well as Vechain can let other people that come to them or come to DNVGL or come to Price Waterhouse, and they say, oh yeah, we already have this solution built. So they build it once, but the thing is that it's not driven by this type of model. It's driven by somebody who already wants something. And so these guys are solution providers. They're not coming up with a solution and trying to find clients. It's the opposite way. So VET is very different from all the other coins that are out there. Not all, but let's say a vast majority of them. So that makes VET different. All right. And one of the things is that this is a very powerful model. What it's doing is that what it is it's a big threat to a lot of other coins that are out there that don't have basically the built-in clientele. Okay, it's a huge threat, and that's where all this FUD is coming. And usually when you hear a FUD, it's a really bullish thing, because it means that VET is basically over the target, and so they're getting a lot of flack thrown at them because they're a danger to the future of like this coin. Because what happens is that VET already has this stuff in place. Maybe some other client that could be a client of this coin says, oh, I can go here. Boom, it's already in place. Okay, there's quality assurance. That's cool. There's PwC in there that checks to make sure that you know everything is legit. Well, I'm gonna go with these guys instead of these guys that don't have any clients that are just looking for them. Huge threat. Let's throw flack at them. Let's throw flack at these guys. And that's what happens. But what that does is the flack is saying, oh yeah, hey, it's actually good advertising. These guys are over the target. VET is over the target. They're getting it done. And so you know, all the FUD that's out there, I just find it more entertaining than not. A lot of people might have, you know, I don't know people's backgrounds and stuff. I can only speak for mine. That, you know, I know about supply chain. I worked in that sector, in the manufacturing and the food sector for about 15 years. I was the one actually putting in like the SQL statements and making little drop-down boxes and stuff like that for the employees to use. And that's me. But this whole FUD stuff that we're hearing about vet, majority of it is BS. Yeah, you have stuff like the Beamer thing, which was a bit of a stretch, and I think that has to deal more with the language barriers between English and Mandarin and stuff. So a partnership with Beamer is yeah, that's overstated a little bit, and I'm just going to say a little bit. Why? Because here's something somebody found on Reddit, and this is why I say check out the Reddit. Get on board of the vechainreddit.com. Get on board, sign up, check out the posts, because this was discovered by somebody. So let's read this. And this is Vince from Jamla. Okay, so hey, shout out to this guy. Congratulations, thanks for finding this. He says, I just discovered this article in the latest November Motor Trend magazine. Totally awesome. And what does it say? Let's see if we can click on it and blow it up. So, took a picture of it. And it says, and BMW has projects underway with Vechain Thor to use blockchain tech in its supply chain, and with startup DOVU. DOVU. I've done a video on DOVU long time ago. Check it out. So the startup DOVU to monitor lease vehicle mileage. Yeah, so people can't get in there and change the odometer reading on cars, right? And this is in Motor Trend. So, gosh, Motor Trend must be just a piece of shit, right? They're in on the FUD. they're garbage. They're useless. They're fake. Yeah. Anyway, check out the Vechain Reddit. People find a lot of information, and thanks to this Vince guy, big old shout out. But yeah, check it out. The FUD that's out there is just FUD. Okay, it's a bunch of BS. Oh, here's something interesting too, since we're here. Player officially announcing the remaining details of our public sale. We want to thank everyone in the Vechain community and ecosystem for all their support during this time. Let's click on that real quick. Yeah, I hate that. And so it talks about token sales starts on October 31st. Wow! You think that's the date that maybe Ocean X will go live? We'll see. Hopefully. Ocean X is supposed to be by the end of the month, right? It's coming up real soon, hence the amount of FUD. Lots of things I think are going to change when Ocean X goes live. And then we'll start seeing a lot more happen. A lot more happen with Vechain. But anyway, this is Players, so check them out. And you can find the link back here. This is the tweets. And this is on CoinMarketCap. You go under social, bam, there it is. Okay, so check them out. And if we go back and see how VForge is doing, if you go to explore.vforge.com, is where you can actually see the activity on the Vechain blockchain. This is the activity, and as you can see, oh yeah, there's spikes here, there's spikes here, and that's from the Thor generation for what was it, like Binance and stuff, because Binance calculates the Thor once a month, and so there we go. So there's some spikes there when it gets generated, and here's some other spikes from other things. But you can see here, hey, it's picking up. And today is like, today is absolutely huge in the transactions and clauses. And note that you can have a whole bunch of clauses inside a single transaction. That's like really cool. And so you can scroll on down here and see what's happening. You can see the Thor that's the vet that's used and stuff like that. Way cool. So this is explore.vforge.com. They have activity on their blockchain, so that must be fake as well. They probably just have some type of random computer thing going on making this stuff up. And one thing to note here is that, yeah, they have the signers here. Yeah, we would like to know who those guys are, okay? And I'm talking to Vechain. Yeah, release some of these guys, okay? That'll help with the FUD. Also, the companies here is man, to have Vechain to say, hey, yeah, we're a signer for Vechain. That's a big marketing thing for those companies, okay? That's something to be proud of. But anyway, I've been rambling on way too long on this thing, and yeah, we're looking at Vechain here. We'll see what happens. Not investment advice, that is for sure. I was showing you guys about supply chain logistics and how that works. But if you guys have comments, put them in. I try to respond to every single comment that there is. I make that a point. And yeah, so that's just about it. Let's see if there's anybody on the chat. We'll go here. Yeah, there's some comments on the chat. The Guild Travel says DNVGL super legit. Yep. Everybody likes DNVGL. Yeah. V scam. What's the chicken scratch? Yeah, I know, my drawing sucks. So anyway, that's from Cirrus. Let's go on down, see what else is going on. Zeev says the possibility for Vechain Thor are endless. Yeah, it's called business. Business. Think how huge business is and all the inner workings of just getting products to market. All of that stuff is tremendous. It's tremendous. It boggles the mind. Okay? It boggles the mind of how many rights there could be on the Vechain Thor blockchain. Yeah. Okay, Fifth Avenue Phil says, how is Vechain a scam? My brother works at PwC. He told me it's true. Okay, what do you mean there? It's true that they're a scam, or it's true that Vechain is legit? I think that Vechain is legit. I've also done remote viewing a while back, and just on the crypto market, you know, for like a client reading and stuff, and like Vechain came up, and I've done readings on Vechain. If Vechain was not legit, all I can say with my style of remote viewing, it would not have come up. And take that as you will. But energetic wise, Vechain legit. Business wise, it looks like to me Vechain legit. I'm of the thinking that DNVGL is legit as well. And that's just me. Same as PricewaterhouseCoopers. Yeah, they're probably legit as well. And I don't think that they're going to put their name on something that's a scam. All right, moving on. Reading a comment here. Gino says, it's been fudded because pro traders are jockeying their vet holdings before the pretenders get wrecked. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that get wrecked in this market. There's a lot of scams out there, guys. A lot of scams, that is for sure. And as far as getting wrecked, what do we have? We have a lot of people that look at charts. Whoops, got the wrong drawing thing off. They look at charts and they see this going up and down and up and down. Oh my God, the sky's falling. They have a very myopic view. Let me show you what I do, okay? This is a weekly chart for LMT, which is Lockheed Martin. It's actually a stock, okay? These are weeks. Back here is about December of 2012. And if you really haven't heard, if your head's been in the sand or something like that, stock market's had a little bit of a dip. And Lockheed's had a dip here too, okay? Boom. Basically, pretty much this huge spike that we've seen for 2018 in their market is basically has been wiped out. It's back at the starting point of 2018. So all these profits gone. When I bought in back here, and you look at that chart, do you really think I give a shit about that little dip? No. I look at Vechain the same way. We're back here in this area. This is where it's going, in my opinion. Okay? Giving damn about these little ups and downs? You tell me. Anyway, that's it, guys. Lot of FUD out there for Vechain and actually some other quality products. Yeah, so I'd like to hear your thoughts. Anyway, I am checking out. Have a great and wonderful day. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and get notified. Catch you later, guys. Bye.